But listen, guys, here's the thing. Overwatch 2 still isn't out, and it's been so long that I understand what's happening in the Valorant clips now. I don't know how I could have let this happen. Anyways, let's check out the action from week 2 of ECAC. First up, we've got Nico Baca, who's got a need for speed.
But they have to be careful here. That kick of not quite in their favor. Patrick has to be quick to him, and Nico Baca, he's just soaring through the sky with way too much pace.
Yeah, you knew this was coming. When this one lingered up in the air for a bit too long from J-Neil's touch, Patrick tried to go up for this one, but Nico, like we said, he's been the fastest player in this lobby the entire...
Just a friendly reminder that fireworks always add pizzazz to your points.
Of this series.
Good read there by Chalk. Because if he didn't place down that block, that would have been a really early stock lead that he would have gotten. And wow, that nade.
Absolutely sniped out of midair.
Everyone is in flux when Mount St. Mary's is on the point.
To save that piece, and that is the bulk of your healing if you're Emery and Henry. Now you're coming in with both DPS ult and the Shatter, but again, a massive gravitic flux comes out from Mount St. Mary, stops it in their tracks before they can even get started.
Yeah, the Tac Vibes are gonna deal the final blows to several members of Emery and Henry.
Eve has got beef with BSU and wants everyone to know it.
One situation left to clutch it out.
Ooh, I'm a little bit afraid here that the wide swing's gonna come out, but Ian's waiting. Ian is being a little bit patient here. Eve is not going to be able to get the first one, and maybe if Ian was able to wait there a little bit longer, Eve would not have been able to get that free.
Someone, not me, is going to have to tell Talo Halo that sharing isn't always caring.
Gonna feed it, because right now Taylor is feeding into it 59% before they have been touched for even a point of a percent in this counting. There is Arsene, but he may disappear just as quickly as he has up here. Oh my goodness, Kilomiles, that is a 0 to death if I have ever seen one. Taylor Halo.
Don't let your guard down. You never know when Rhino will come charging in.
Rhino is all the way back. That just goes to show how much they're not wanting to make it, but Rhino, with all the control, gets the one on the board.
Talk about getting one in there. That he actually picks it up initially from a mini pass to himself. That an expert is expecting an expert to do something expertly, right? That is just about as simple as it gets, right? Just literally boiling it down to more basic Rocket League right there. Oh my God! And again, Rhino does it twice in about 30 seconds after no scores.
We're bringing it around town with Chowan University.
Big fights out short. Town, though, just gets the better of it. Great spray control. Takes 2 down with him, and already Chowan is looking at a 2-0 right now. Going to try an entry onto the site with quickness. Not willing to take his foot off the pedal, and Town's got a third. The last 2 coming from CT, and Town wants to put the nail in the coffin right here, right now. One's there. He's going to hear them both. He has a head in front of him. 4 before he goes down, and all it takes is Dusty to finish this one off.
Last but certainly not least, Big J5 coming in hot with a big 5K.
And Kentucky, they may get the second point for free.
Oh, that headshot.
The second headshot. What? He's got another dragon already.
The third.
Wait, he finds 3. Big J, he's looking for a 4th. Oh my God, he finds it. He is single-handedly destroying Kentucky right now. Oh my goodness. 4 eliminations, 1 Hanzo, and a brand new Dragons Online. The question.
Wow, I miss these awesome clips, and it's only week 2, so make sure to keep up with the action on Twitch at ECAC_esports, Mondays and Tuesdays at 8, and Wednesdays at 7. And make sure to follow their Twitter at ECAC_esports. And thank you to our partner eSportsU and to you for hanging out with me today. See you next time!
Hi, everyone. My name is Heather Garozzo, also known as Sapphire. I'm so excited to join you here today. This is an initiative that means a lot to me. I've been involved in esports now for a little more than I want to admit, but about 20 years in many different facets. And when I started, I was often the only woman in the room. There were no women competitions. There were no other women on co-ed teams or women's teams. And that obviously has changed drastically over the most recent couple of years. Initiatives like this are so meaningful to getting more women involved and giving them a stepping stone to join those tier one leagues, to join co-ed teams, mixed teams, and hopefully become the best in the world. So I came to join today to just tell you a little bit about my journey, hopefully inspire you, whether you want to go down the path of being a professional gamer or a content creator, or you want to work in the industry. There's so many different options, and I wanted to share a little bit about my story with you. So first off, I'm actually at Valorant Champions in Istanbul right now. The match is happening like just behind the door from me, so you might even hear some of the crowd noise going hype. The crowd is obviously cheering for Fnatic. Actually, I just heard a loud cheer right now, so something epic might have just happened. But so apologies if you hear that background noise, but it's all part of the vibe. It's all part of just being in esports, living and breathing esports. My journey actually started just as a player. I was a multi-sport varsity athlete in high school, tore my MCL, was out on an injury, and then I found esports. My brother would have his friends over, and I didn't want my brother to be better than me than anything, and I just started playing. And this was actually Counter-Strike. Valorant wasn't out at the time, of course. And turns out that I was pretty decent at it, and so started playing more and more and more. Found some teammates, traveled down to the CPL, which is like the top tournament at the time. Thought after winning a bunch of tournaments in the Milwaukee area that we would come in and do really well. Turns out we were terrible, and we finished dead last. Lost to a Finnish team that was one of the best in the world. But it only motivated me to be a better player. So I kept competing. Eventually, I made it on to some of the top teams. I was in co-ed teams, played in ESEA Invite, which is now the equivalent of ESL Pro League, and also played on some co-ed teams. Played with teammates like Miss Harvey, Potter, who is now the coach of Evil Geniuses, Alice Liu, that played with Complexity's Valorant team. Some of the things that I learned in my competing journey, it's not just about my physical skill in the game, not just how quick you could react to something, but communication, teamwork. These things are so important. At Valorant Champions right now, I get the opportunity to listen into the teams and listen to their communication. It's amazing how they refine their craft and refine how they communicate with their teammates. It's something so fascinating. So I encourage you, one of the things I like to tell up and coming players is record your team's comms and listen back. Did you give the right calls? Could you have done better calls? Those calls have been shorter and more precise? Those are some of the things I learned as a player. Throughout that playing journey, one of the highlights was in 2012 when I traveled to Paris and competed in the Esports World Cup, which was the top tournament for women at the time. And we came in and we won the World Championship, which was so exciting. It's so amazing to play in front of crowds of thousands of people. They were cheering against us because we were playing against a European team and we were an American team. But that feeling is just like unlike anything else when you can raise that trophy and they play the national anthem of your country. I hope many of you playing in this competition will get to experience some of that one day. It's truly an honor. Some of the other things besides competing and winning trophies, I played in 250 tournaments over the years. I believe that's the most for any woman. It's hard to keep track in the early days. But beyond competing, I work in the industry. So I'm a vice president at Dignitas. It's one of the oldest operating esports teams. We had for many years one of the top women's teams in the world. I also founded a women's initiative called Radiant and operate women's esports tournaments just like this. And I've realized how important that is. A lot of people will ask, why do the women need their own tournament? Why can't they just play with the guys? And my response back is, if you look at a game like Valorant, there's a reason why there are so many women competing in this game compared to other esports titles. It's because these women's initiatives exist, and they give women something to work towards, something to get started. It gives them a more safe environment, a harassment-free environment to kick off their careers. And I hope one day we don't need women's tournaments. That's the end goal, is because more women are competing and more women are going to start to shine in those tier 1 teams. My last point is, as I said, working in the industry, there's so many different job opportunities. You don't have to be the best player in the world. You don't have to be comfortable on camera and be a content creator. You can work in business side, marketing, advertising. You can work in PR. You can work even in the sciences. There's sports psychology jobs. There's team chefs. There's nutritionists. One of my positions is being an observer. Like I said, I'm at Valorant Champions right now. And, if you're dual monitoring and you're watching both this event and Valorant Champions at the same time, after this, I'm about to hop in and be the observer for XSET versus Fnatic, essentially an in-game director. There's a million different production jobs as well. But I just wanted to use this as an opportunity to hopefully inspire you to continue to pursue esports and gaming if that's something you love. And then my final comment is just a reminder that, you're going to be in games sometimes and people are going to say terrible things. I hope that ends someday, but just know that no matter what they say, you belong here. You deserve this. You deserve to play this game. You deserve to be in this competition. And I wish you all the best of luck. Thank you so much for having me. I can't wait. I know there's going to be some superstars. I hope I see you one day at Valorant Champions kicking ass. Thank you so much for having me.
https://twitter.com/Septilence. Don't put that in. I'll get in trouble. So that's worth it. Did I get too close to the camera on that one? A little bit too close? Should I back up a little bit? Okay, sorry about that. My bad. I've been awake for probably close to 32 hours. I have to hold my keyboard the normal way, because if I do it, I feel like I have arthritis, and I hold my keyboard like that. It blows my mind. I can never do that. This guy right here, he's got his keyboard off at an angle. His isn't that extreme. There's a kid all the way down to the far end who has his keyboard all the way at a horizontal.
That's really cool.
They're going to be at that table right over there.
Public information?
Oh, I don't know. This isn't live, so it doesn't matter.
It's not live, but you and I know.
Yeah, we know.
I'm not going to tweet it.
Awesome. What game do you play?
Smash Bros.
Who do you play? Is it embarrassing? Is it like Villager?
Yeah.
Is it Villager? Am I spot on? Oh my god. Is it the Ice Climbers?
No.
Is it Game & Watch?
No.
Is it Pichu?
No.
Is it Wario?
No.
I can keep going. I think I can name every character in the game.
I believe in you.
Is it? Did I say the Ice Climbers already?
Yeah, you said them.
Is it them?
Not them.
Is it them a second time?
No.
Okay. All right. Oh, is it one of the Lynx?
Yes, it is.
Is it Toon Link?
It is.
Oh, that is pretty embarrassing. That is rough. Who do you play?
I'll give you $20 if you guess correctly right now.
First try? Give me a single hint.
It's an obscure character.
Obscure character.
Not played very often.
Is it Wii Fit Trainer?
Oh my god! Oh my.
I'm the interviewer for a reason, baby. I do what I do. I don't need the money. I appreciate it, though. I appreciate it. So Bowser Jr., Wii Fit, and I forgot already. Are you all lying to me? Am I being gaslit? No. Bowser Jr., Wii Fit, and you told me already. Oh, Toon Link. Yep. Where's my main support at? Who are we playing this weekend?
A lot of Brig.
A lot of Brig, really?
Brig Lucio, probably.
Brig Lucio, really? I shouldn't say that too loud. I don't want to give all your strategies. It's over-under?
What do you mean over-under?
Like, do we think we're going to podium? Do we think we're going to come in last place?
Not last place.
Not last place?
Certainly not last.
What about 5th place?
That's doable.
That's doable? That's winnable? 3rd place? That's where things get dicey.
That's very doable.
Okay.
First place, that's very doable.
First place, very doable. Love it. That's the mindset. That's what he loves to hear. Yeah. Oh my God. Hold on. Cut the cameras. Well, who are you? Hello. Oh my God. I saw you earlier. I saw the back of your shirt. And I was like, I know that name. I know him. It's a quick play game. They Q sniped each other at land. I thought it was a scrim. It's just unlucky. Are you actually a Villager player?
Yeah.
How do you feel about Villager being notably worse in Smash Ultimate than they were in Smash 4?
I wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know? You never played Smash 4?
No.
Oh, that's all right. Nobody's gonna hold that against you. Who do you play?
I play Robin.
Okay, wow. Did you know Robin has the lowest pick rate in the game?
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? Come on, the LEDs, it looks just like Samus.
Huh?
Do you disagree?
I guess I can see
The
it.
Samus vibe. Show the controller to the camera. We're interviewing. This is recording, by the way. Surprise.
Not my controller.
Who do you play?
I play Peach.
Oh, wow, I like that. Who do you play?
I play the Shotos, mostly Kazi.
No, you lose against Kirby. That's just like a statistics thing.
Yeah.
It's maybe.
This is a death match. I think they're all in the same one. They're all on Icebox. Are they all in the same death match? Maybe. Who knows? I feel like none of them can hear me. I want to like approach somebody, but no one can hear. They all have both their headphones on.
What's up?
How do we think we're doing?
I think we're doing pretty good. Yeah.
What's your KD?
We're looking at 10 and 6 right now.
Oh, hey, that's third, dude. That's better than I expected. Who's bottom frag right now? I want to go talk to them. Ian? Hey, how do you think we're doing so far?
You know, it could be better.
Could be better? You're one of those rough days?
Well, you know.
Let's go find more people to harass. Yeah. Where's Boise State? Who's your favorite to play?
Oh, right now it's got to be either Chamber or Breach.
What country is Cypher from?
Oh, dude. It's Moroccan, right?
It is Morocco! Oh my God, I don't think anyone was gonna get that. Oh, you're good. You're good. All right, see you later. Let's go harass Boise State more. Who is this? What school is this? Boise?
This is Boise.
Oh man, that's okay. Boise's still got really good odds. A Large Bagel, one of their tank players, Nerdy Bird, they're off tank. Both of them not here. A little bit scary, if we're being honest. Getting warmed up, getting ready to cast some players. No, okay, not cast, interview. Change your mindset, change your mindset.
Words.
No, but last words until we come back.
Oh, okay.
Because we're leaving.
Enjoy.
Oh, that was good, that was good. Anything from you?
How are we doing, Polly?
Awesome, thank you so much for your time.
Welcome to ECAC Top Plays of the Week. This is Rod, your favorite host, back at it again with more stellar plays from collegiate esports. Special thanks to our partners at Esports U for the additional coverage. Let's hop straight into it. Starting off this week at number 8, we have Torchy showing aerial dominance. They show that you're going to have to work a little bit harder if you want to get back on their stage.
Tiny bit here. Now you gotta mix up your timings getting back onto the stage. Toilucci is looking for something, able to still find the jab, and the foiler is going to be.
Next up, we have Cadmus, showing us what impact on a support player really looks like. With the timing of a Lucio God, they come in to claim the play of the game.
Player just going to deny anyone an attempt to hit the objective, and I mean, at this point in time, you gotta expect those rollouts to be as quick as they are.
Moving on to Rocket League, we have Swax, showing why they own the airspace with a nice self-follow-up, netting WSC the goal. As we are going to try to find out that little nugget of information, Swax is going to drop this one down and give us a tie game here in game number 2. Gets that nice little touch over the defender, Peter. As an Astro main myself, nothing brings me more joy than watching Zeno hold it down on the C site with a nice 4K to secure the second round of the half.
Fine, there's a 50-50 angle. They're checking a beautiful spray down onto 3. Players come in for the rotate from the rest of the map control, and a beautifully played round by FSE, capped off by a nice old.
Now at the number 4 spot, we see that luck is a skill when Post gets 2 back-to-back kickoff goals. All it took was 6 seconds to go from a deficit to the lead. That is comeback potential.
Other ways.
I don't... What? Okay, so Warda actually messed up their kickoff. They 100% did not mean to land like that and then just happened to get a wave dash into it. Hey, listen, fortune favors the bold, and sometimes it's better to have dumb luck than to not be lucky at all. So we'll take it 100%, especially if they get another one. Kabuki to tally it on, and they're proving it isn't just luck.
Coming back into Smash, we have Bryce showing a ledge guard of the gods. It took a couple Gordos to nail it, but this clip truly ended in perfection.
Nope, not a footstool in sight, unfortunately.
Just gonna be looking for some sort of an edge guard here now.
Oh!
That Gordo is right in the way, and Bryce gonna be able to get the.
Conrad came into this round swinging. They really showed what happens when you combine the skill of a great player and the blessing of the RGX Vandal.
Over-aggression. It worked out so well. I mean, just a double kill already in their favor. Which so far the Sheriff, I mean, has been truly impressive. And unfortunately, he has not been there to follow up. Conrad.
Hello everyone and welcome to Esports U. Welcome back to some SSBU action. It's week 2 here and we're getting ready for some SSBU action. My name is Soy, joining me is Combo, and I mean, we're already in the action here on PS2.
Right, so we've got UAlbany B up here against SUNY Canton A. We got Frank representing UAlbany B. We got Curls on SUNY Canton A. It's a Fox versus Minmin. Minmin's a character that's pretty high in contention when it comes to online play, especially at a rise, released during COVID era, had a big rise of play, especially prominent in Japan meta, and more recently, a couple of North American players have also utilized her. But she's very unique, heavy utilization of those arms. You already saw that forward smash with the Dragon Laser getting an early game here on Fox. Fox going to really have to fight his way in to try and beat the zoning game plan that Min is always going to be shooting for here. And she's got some decent get-off-me options as well. She's got an up-smash. She can box a little bit with jab. And of course, she's got the Chakram arm, which is a lot faster than anything else that a lot of characters have to offer, especially with that disjointed range. It's going to be a rough matchup here for Fox is what I'm doing. What do you think, Soy?
Yeah, and it's also kind of that, you know, Fox has that glass cannon-esque playstyle, right? Where if Fox gets in, Min doesn't have too much to get Fox off of them. So it's all about what Frank can do once they find their one opening. But for now, that opening has not come very easy, as that's a good low recovery. It's going to be able to dip around that arm just enough, and the coverage too, still able to get around it though. So far, I mean, the damage is there, but this is where that struggle is. You've got the damage on board, but how do you find that killing blow?
Right, Fox is going to have to try and land one of the more classic kill confirms, something like a jump in nair into an up smash, or maybe just go for a hard read up smash, down smash, forward smash. Just have to run up, you know. Meanwhile, Minmin's got Megawatt on deck now. Pretty much any stray hit facing the right direction will kill. Nice downer there at ledge to catch kill, get him off. But not be able to confirm anything. There is the Fox up smash that he was looking for. That's going to be first kill down here from Frank's end. But at 110% of any Megawatt hit, it's going to be big for Min. Even as something like a neutral air will do it. There's an auto special. Not quite sure what Minmin's looking for. His dash attack, nice nair. Already 44%. Minmin's getting a little greedy with the Megawatt, but that is going to kill. Bit of a DI mishap, and Fox is down. Another stock. Frank is on the last stock here, representing UAlbany B. This could be the start of a lead here for SUNY Canton A. Minmin's going to have, if Minmin's able to close this out with 2 stocks, that's going to be pretty big for momentum. There's a good chance it is possible, especially to see crazy combos like that. We go in straight from Chakram to Dragon.
It's just so difficult for Frank to get in all that distance, and while you are fast as Fox, just those openings come few and far between, especially with that kind of linear space Min can cover. Up B going to do some damage, and this is relatively kill percent, or excuse me, kill percent if you get to the right spot. But speaking of kill percentage and right spot,
there's the snipe. There. Right, the thing about the Dragon of all 3 arms is if you charge and hold A after a smash attack iteration of the Dragon arm, there will be a little laser that'll pop out afterwards. And you can also angle that laser a little differently than the arm itself. There's so much variety, so much coverage that Minmin's unique arms have to offer. You have the Megawatt, a lot slower, crazy kill potential, right? Then you have the Chakram, super fast, super quick, and great for edge guarding. And trying to clip people and 2-framing them or gipping them before they can even make it back to stage, because you can angle so deep underneath. You can kind of curve it down and come right back up. And the Dragon's supposed to be the standard arm that's always going to be on your A button, not your B button. Your B button's the one that rotates out, but the Dragon's also available for that as well. And that's, you know, a pretty average speed, average damage output, but the laser is super nice for catching those snipes like we just saw right now. So that's going to be a pretty solid advantage here for SUNY Canton B. Min up here with 2 stocks. I'm very interested to see who UAlbany wants to send here, because honestly, it's not like Fox is the worst option to send in a character like this. Only the big thing is offstage gameplay and offstage recovery might be a little too linear, and that makes Min very advantaged in trying to deal with those situations. But generally, the idea of a character that needs to be fast and get in is pretty good, right? I mean, I think again something like it's like a Pikachu, someone small, right? Maybe even an Olimar could do the trick here against Min Min. Alternatively, if you want to play another zoner that might be kind of quick and have a lot to throw out, that is also possible. I'm not really sure. This is a character I still feel like has a lot of different approaches to solving, and nothing is super definite. But it is a polarizing character at the same time. Just the way that if Min Min's not able to get her game plan off, and she's stuck dealing with people always up in her face and her boxing options are always getting beaten out, there's not a whole lot left she could do. So UAlbany's got 2 people to pick from here, and ideally one of them is going to be a good matchup here against Min Min.
And hopefully the case. And going up against the Min Min right now, knowing that you're going to be, trying to take another 2 stocks off and that they might have that chance to counterpick too, you got to really think about this matchup, and we'll have to see who they opt to send in here. What's the character that's going to appear on screen? It's going to be Corrin. Okay. I have not seen a Corrin Min Min matchup. I think that's one of those kind of off obscure ones that I have not seen in a minute.
Yeah. Oh, my apologies earlier, by the way. SUNY Canton A and UAlbany B, not SUNY Canton B. Just wanted to cover that up. But right, yeah. So the thing here about the Corrin and Min Min matchup, Corrin is a pretty combo-centric character. A lot of moves string really easily into one another. And, the thing about that is the damage output isn't necessarily the highest, and Corrin's going to have to put in a decent amount of work to get a lot of percents to enter that kill range. And when it actually comes to active kill options too, it's just a little bit more work than your average character, so it makes Corrin feel kind of weak sometimes. But if you've got really strong advantage state and you're really great at reading your opponents, you can flip and pick people up from the most random moves all the time. So big thing Corrin again though still has to try and find a way in to actually get those combos going, and that's exactly what Min Min's going to be working up against. So spacing out here with Chakram into Dragon Arm, right? One arm into another. The way Min Min plays is so fundamentally different from most of the characters, right? You throw out a move with one character, you have end leg, and that's that. But Min Min can throw out one arm and wait for as long as she wants before she throws out the next arm for that coverage. So it's should I wait? Should I try to punish? Am I going to get clipped by something else? It's a completely different game. That's a nice way in right there with the grounded pin, instant pin to the kick. Putting a lot of pressure here onto Min Min, but she's able to return to center stage. Corrin's fishing for something, gets a forward air. What's the offstage option going to be? Pretty greedy pin there. The tip of that will kill. Caught with the nair. Nice air dash through the Dragon Arm. Still going to live. There's a pin kick, and DI is going to hurt here as Pearls is down another stock, and this could be pretty big for UAlbany's Kerbini to try and bring something back, but 138% makes this super risky. One solid hit. There it is. And that's another stock down.
Yeah, nowhere really to go there once you're on ledge, right? You can try and jump around and get the timing maybe, but it's just such a tough spot to be in. But look at this. You're talking about good advantage states, and Kerbini right now doing a pretty good job of keeping Min Min off stage, and Curls now kind of reversing the scenario. Really dangerous play along the outside of the stage, but both doing a pretty decent job of getting a lot out of it just to make sure that both players can get back on the stage. And that side B, the timing and the spacing of it, really well done right now. And it's putting in a lot of work. That up air, not enough to kill quite yet. There's the cancel, and they'll be able to make it back to stage.
Right, yeah, I think this stock, Kerbini has had a lot of the right reads. That's that strong advantage that I was talking about. Even earlier, there's a potential kill situation where she threw out the neutral B, which starts with the stun into the bite from the arm. Just a little too early where Min Min rolled right past it, but the spacing was perfect. The timing was just a little bit off. But now we're seeing a much slower game plan here from Min Min, just from pure spacing, pure damage, now in the risk of being killed. At 141%, they want to save as much stocks, maybe potentially take another one if possible. The edge guard from Corrin's not quite going to do much there. Is Dragon Arm. There's the angled lasers as well. Not quite going to take any stocks though. Trying to jump in. Nice up air. Great spacing to jump over backwards and hit with the backwards hitbox of up air. Fantastic play there from Kirby, especially toward the beginning of that second stock. And we're almost seeing Crows adapting a little bit more, trying to slow the game down, space out with arms, get that chip damage bit by bit. Nothing too crazy. Don't push any hard advantage. Just chip away at that percent. But I mean, eventually, Kirby is going to find their way in, and they're able to take that stock. And now we've got a one stock difference here between UAlbany B and SUNY Canton A.
Yeah, and I really like the game plan as that game went on from Curls, although they do end up falling here. One of the things that you saw, especially towards the end, right? You were talking about how they were just kind of chipping away at percent. If you think about the ways that Corrin can get in on Min, there's really not a whole lot, right? You can kind of jump in, or you have that very slow neutral B special to kind of approach or to throw a projectile from distance, or you can do what they were doing, is using that pin, that side B, in order to break through. If you get the timing right, the spacing right on it, you can get a possible KO out of it at the high percents. But Curls kind of realized, hey, if I'm at if I'm trying to like work my way back into this stock, into this match, then that side B is not going to kill for a long period of time. So I'm just going to keep stuffing out jump after jump. And I think they got, 40, almost 50% off of it. Just chip, like you said. And so it seemed to be working, but, great on Kerbini to be able to find a way through, get those stocks. And, even on that very last stock, that just kind of the last swing of that up air, the lasting hitbox of it on that far side to get it done. And now a battle of Fire Emblem characters as Lucina entering the ring.
Oh, this is going to be exciting. I think generally pretty general consensus that Lucina tends to be better than Corrin, but Corrin is also been underrated historically throughout Ultimate history. It's not as bad as the character as a lot of people like to do. Not. So really, really excited. A very fundamental, very Lucina, right? Playing the archetype of an Echo Fighter of Marth, standard swords. That fundamental character, very solid. You've got some combos, you've got strong hits, just their cost of blade. I'll get Corrin here. He's got a bunch of lighter hits. Push those advantage states, get those combos. Ooh, that was a dancing blade that somehow was not whiff punished. Get Corrin run up and then run a whiff. Should be a basic here, big damage lead here. Or top dog, there's the side pin into the kick, not quite good. Stop, cover, center stage.
That side B connecting forward air there. Oh, and there's that side B catching him out, saying you're just going to drift in, and down goes stock number 1 there of Waka. So even game now across the board and in terms of stocks. And Waka back to the corner again, grabbed and forward thrown. This is going to be a bit of a challenge. Kerbini doing a really good job of reading the movement here.
Right, this is about even percent now. Kerbini's been pushing advantage states so well throughout this thing. Waka's been struggling to kind of match the damage output. They haven't been able to land a whole lot of solid hits. There's a ton of counter. I'm not sure if it's a special or even if they were trying to hit that rising air, but that's a great forward smash read. And now far gone. It's going to attempt to counter on the up special. Great stuff here. We're going to see it one more time. Ooh, whiff back here, and we're going to have that is back almost what win. Fourth throw to edge guard. Ooh, going super deep. There is the backer and the steep like down. Big damage on the block. Do it or block this block.
One stock here, and they'll get the dash attack. They're still looking for a way to even up this stock count, but oh, this could be dangerous. Ooh, I like the idea of that neutral B just in case they panic shield, but does not find anything other than a little bit of damage. Another grab here. Does that throw kill? No, not quite yet. It's going to take a lot more percent for that to kill, but that forward tilt will very quick there to catch up and even up the stock count. And only 36%. This is a basically dead even game.
Right, especially considering how well we've seen Kerbini play around combos early and so much percent they would rack up super quickly. Oh, that could have been a huge punish there on that Lucina whiff up special. But it's going to be fine. Kerbini still fight their way up. Or Waka's really want to push the advantage here. Not super sided on it either way, but now it's a good game. Waka had some nice up special. Very fast. Oh. A bit of an early counter, didn't quite. Great spot dodge. Throw. And no punish on the kick. And we got the nice response from Lucina. Sledge option going to be charging forward smash. Going a little early. They're not quite getting what you want. Drop shield after first hit and pin, getting hit by the kick. High percent. There is the stun into Claw. That clock has been charged for a lot longer. Oh my goodness, that's a forwarder into stage with the stage spike and then upping immediately after. What a sick combo to close out that game. Waka's going to walk away with the 1-stock lead for SUNY Canton.
That was a crazy finish. I mean, it was down to the wire both ways. Both were trying to get so much, I felt like, out of just those kind of panicky situations and a little bit of scramble here and there. But at the end of the day, it's Waka who comes out on top. And what a forward air, right? Because you're thinking as a Lucino or as a Marth, right? That recovery, everyone kind of knows that line by now. Everyone kind of knows, okay, it's the swoop. It's going to be in this kind of arc. So the positioning of Kerbini there to kind of fade around and still attempt it, and the recognition of, hey, they're coming out to get me. They're not going to expect just the simple forward air right before the up B. And the fact that it comboed and sent them off the back way is even more strange. That's something that you really don't see very often. So what a great finish to that match.
Yeah, that was fantastic. Very dangerous, very risky offstage gameplay, and everything just happened to line up as well as it did. And now Waka is here with, for SUNY Canton, a 1-stock lead, 4 stocks to 3. Let's see if UAlbany's last player is able to take care of Waka's last stock to keep it dead even, or if Waka is going to be able to build a lead here for UAlbany, or rather for SUNY Canton, and potentially even close out the first game.
We'll have to see. And it's even more huge, right? We talk about this a lot, and I bring this up a lot too. But the fact that they're both at such a high percent, right? And that single stock now gets reset back to 0 for this match.
Yep.
So they got to work through that whole stock all over again. So even if they lose it, it's, in theory, no blood drawn, but also if they get something out of it, now there's that advantage that it's a huge turning point in the match that these teams can kind of look back on and say, where was the turning point? Where did the momentum, leave or come to us from? And that was the moment. And this is another defining factor here, because now you have that little bit of info of, okay, what character are they going to send in as their third player here? Who are they going to lock in and what stage, right? Because those will be very influential headed into set number 2.
Right. I mean, Lucina is a character that does pretty well into most matchups, right? Nothing's super hard winning a lot of the time unless the character is a significant sword character, disjoint weakness. But otherwise, in terms of losing matchups, Lucina will fare decently well against most characters as long as she finds some way to hit the opponent, right? So you kind of have to try and quote-unquote counterpick Lucina, who is a pretty well-rounded character, and then not have a whole lot of information about who's left. So this last character pick, if it's just their last player only plays one character, that's who they play. That's perfectly fine. That's all you can run. But if they got a plethora of characters, they kind of want to think about matchups. Well, they don't really have a whole lot of information to work with right now, and that can make things scary about future decision making. But I mean, time is here. We got a Greninja stepping up to the plate.
I'm excited. Greninja is always one that they've got the classic combos that everyone knows and loves, but you still have all that damage to deal with. And honestly, in terms of being able to deal with Lucina, you've got all the tools that you need. It's just going to be difficult to kind of put it all together here, right? Because of that sword can be so dangerous.
Right. Another thing I think it's worth pointing out for Greninja is that a lot of his combos are DI mix-ups or like timing and DI dependent, and also very sensitive to percent, where he can have a pretty strong combo game if all the conditions line up really well, but overall, that is very difficult to get lined up, so you can kind of consider the character to be somewhat inconsistent with how well they're reliably able to output damage and land kills. Another thing that Lucina has is up special, the Dolphin Slash, especially in the air. Oh man, this is a great drag down combo into a jab 1-2, drop tech forward smash, and close out the game. I couldn't even talk about the tools Lucina had to use in response for defense because no defense was able to be played. She was just dead.
And you were talking about it too, right? How it's, arguably inconsistent. Well, when you've got the reads, they're very consistent. And Edison, right off the bat, just said, you are going to be right here, and said, you're going to be off the stage in the next second once they get that drag down into the jab lock. So very well done by Edison. And now we're going to have a dead even game headed into the third match.
Right, 3 stocks on 3. I still feel like the kind of volatility that Greninja brings to the table, being a kind of taller character, being a fast faller, makes him a lot easier combo food. His defensive game, his disadvantage state is not the best. And also his offense can be, as I said before, inconsistent because it's kind of hard to land a lot of those combos sometimes, especially if the character is lighter or smaller. So there's a lot of different ways you can kind of counterpick this and make Greninja struggle a lot more than he'd want to. But that depends entirely on the last player that SUNY Canton has to offer. But I mean, what showing we did see of Edison so far from UAlbany was quite impressive. I really appreciated the patient play. I mean, the neutral gameplay was pretty aggressive, actually, but keeping her distance until finding those key moments. You know, Luciana kind of wants to build that space, build that wall around her, and Greninja Edison did not have a whole lot of trouble of just kind of finding his way and applying so much damage, even if it all wasn't super linking well together, right? He got that down tilt, trying to get the up smash follow-up, but Luciana was able to attack on the top right platform PS2. It happens, right? Sometimes they'll air dodge out of your up air strings, or sometimes you miss the drag down, or sometimes you don't get the follow-up on forward air, and stuff like that happens a lot, and that's just kind of the nature of playing Greninja. But I mean, I think Edison handled the situation really well. Now we're gonna be up against a Link, so it's gonna be a taller character, more mid-range weight character, so not something that Greninja can't play around, but disjoints are definitely annoying, and the projectile game is going to be very obnoxious for Greninja to deal with. So SUNY Canton's gonna send in their Link player Top Dog to try and close this out. Edison coming in from that one stock heated victory up against Waka earlier, might have some momentum to carry in.
Yeah, we'll have to see how they do. FD, no platforms to kind of mess with any drag downs or anything like that. You still have the base platform, of course, for drag downs to work on, but no platforms to worry about, and that's going to make these projectiles even more dangerous, and controlling the ground game ever more important. And a lot of play around this bomb seems to be the name of the game for Top Dog at the moment. Bomb not going to land there, still trying to ledge trap, but still a pretty significant lead built up early here. But now that Edison's got control of the stage, it's going to be difficult for Top Dog to find ground and find a way to get this stopped.
Yeah, this is looking a little difficult here for Edison to try and rack up more damage. The 64% makes a lot of these combos not super linkable on their own. It requires a lot more reads. Meanwhile, Top Dog is, dealing with the fast faller, someone that can fall into stuff a little bit easier. He's a little bit of a bigger body. Ooh, there's a potential crazy bomb combo there off the Nair, but we did get a nice down tilt dash up smash. Try and even out this percent. Again, there's a run up down tilt. There's that down smash. Heavy commitment of a move there, but great parry on the back there and attempted to punish. Oof, this is pretty even here on FD. I think both these characters are relatively okay with this stage. I don't know. We'll have to see who's able to land his first killing blow. You have bomb thrown out, Nair trying to cover up any get-up options. One Nair close to ledge from Link will take out this Greninja's first stock, but Link is not too far behind. That's a neutral air from Greninja. Not going to go for any crazy ledge guards. The ledge trap isn't going to be anything significant either. No punish on that forward smash. Link is staying alive, as is Greninja. They're weaving around each other, very afraid. Ooh, that was a substitute whiffed counter. Not the craziest punish in the world, though. Link just went for a weak-sided falling Nair. See a throw, see an up throw, not quite going to kill, but I see what they're going for. This is getting dangerous.
The fact that they're both still on their first stocks is incredible to me, but Top Dog still off stage. Bomb recovery there, and smart, actually, I think, there, because everyone thinks you're going to recover low and up B, but mixing it up, sending him to the other side of the stage there was good, and now a lot of pressure on shields. Both at 160 here, still looking for that first stock, and the Nair is just going to do it off the top of the stage. Another Nair traded, but still not enough. Good job weaving around that bomb, and does he find the kill here? Yup, the up throw should do it. So back to dead even, and you were talking earlier about how it seemed very aggressive from Edison, that first match that we saw him in, but this time it feels a lot more patient. Feels like he gets that first hit of a combo, and he was kind of waiting to see what way he would go the first couple times. So now that he's kind of found his footing in this match, he realizes I've got to play more patient if I'm going to find my windows.
Right. Ooh, what a great string from that drag down. Almost getting that second back air off stage to potentially land a kill pretty early. Greninja was fishing for something huge there. No tech, was able to pop up with the down tilt. No follow-up afterwards, though. That's just the struggle of playing Greninja.
Good nair. Oh, and the trade back. It's just nair for nair, really. They both want it so badly to try and follow into something, but no real easy option. Good counter there. Was wondering when he would pull that out because it's a great way of dealing with projectiles and could potentially lead to a stock later, but he opted to use it there. Oh, what a great read on the tech in place there in the forward tilt. That is a dangerous move and ends up taking that second stock.
Yeah, and now we got an advantage here for Link. I would still say Link's in that kill percentage, but Grinch is going to have to work a little hard to actually land the setups or commit super hard to a read. That may end up taking that first stock, but it's looking tough. It's looking tough. Nice snare to beat out the projectile. Only 19% extra credit so far, but we are counting up on that percent. Already up to 30. I mean, with the crazy range Link has to offer, that forward smash actually kills surprisingly early. Would not be surprised if it catches around ledge around 60 maybe, and actually lends up to get the kill. So they're just going to want to take care of the stock as soon as possible without getting chipped out. But Lynx, has a great passion for chipping out your opponents with things like arrows, boomerang, and bomb. A little rough. Max gets the down tilt, and then this is not a combo that wasn't an air tracking read to get the forward air follow up. But does finally end up taking the stock. 54% deficit. Looking to rack up a lot more percentage before they can look into potentially landing kills. But Link is entering that red range. He's starting to see blood.
Yeah, this is getting real dangerous for Edison here. Up tilt, that's not going to do it quite yet. That up air, if that connects, it will. Oh, he thought he had the read on the air dodge, but the forward smash doesn't land. He ended up drifting behind him, and Edison gets away for now. Down throw, back air, almost caught the second one, and a low recovery will allow him back to stage. Good forward tilt to knock Top Dog back off again. Another dash attack does not land, and he'll be able to make it back here. Up smash doesn't poke through. Forward smash sends Top Dog off. This is a lot of time kept to the corners of the stage here for Top Dog. Good jump around that bomb. The spacing just so perfect right now from both of these two. Good parry, and still one window is really all either of these two need now because the rage is starting to really stack up for both of them.
Yeah, I would argue Link is really close to that kill percent. Like any great read off stage, especially with something like a forward air or even potentially a nair, could take it. But there is the Link forward air, catching the jump after the bomb. Great bait to bring out that defensive option. It's very standard for a lot of players. They kind of like the panic jump in situations where they're getting too pressured on shield by projectiles. But Link was already there waiting, catches the jump, forward air, first two hits, takes care of everything. And SUNY Canton A is going to walk away with the first game. Really close, bring it all the way down to that last stock. So I wouldn't say it's a wash in either way, but SUNY Canton, especially last player Top Dog, displayed some great mastery of the character Link. And I think Edison struggled just a little bit, especially with ledge trapping game, but also trying to find a way around getting chipped of those projectiles. But that's only natural with a character like Grinja. He's fast, but not that fast. His airspeed is not the best, especially as air maneuverability. He falls really fast. So that allows him to get clipped a little bit on the taller end too by a lot of projectiles. And Link has so many to keep from. He's got an entire arsenal. So he has absolutely no issue keeping Grinja at bay, and that shift damage ended up really doing a number on Grinja's potential to survive and maybe land a kill of his own, especially considering how difficult it is to kind of land a lot of that sometimes. You have to kind of commit to a read, try to catch an air dodge, try to catch a landing, or catch a missed tech. Right, Grinja has to put a lot of effort to really secure those kills, and Link had his number. He had it taken care of, and that stock is gone. SUNY Canton A is going to walk away with the first game.
Yeah, and a huge one at that, right? They win this next upcoming match, then they get the 2-0 if it's possible. But, I mean, it was really down to the wire there. Edison, just a complete kind of pace change, it felt like, from that Lucina match to that Link match. Because, again, they are very different characters, but the display of patience, that's a huge thing, right? To know, hey, I can afford to shield this or get something like a down tilt early and then just wait, just see what they do. What's their panic option? What's their immediate defensive reaction? And we saw that once or twice, and then you saw the adaptations kind of come through. And that's how that first stock, he had a 70-ish% deficit, and yet every time he would find a way to battle back. He would find a way to make that stock close again every single time. So it was really tooth and nail between these two, and it's going to be fun to see the adaptations that these two teams make getting ready for the second game between these two.
Yeah, a big thing to watch out for, especially, is how lineups are going to be altered, predicting counter pick matchups one on the other, right? It already seems like we have Torrent stepping up to the plate, who I believe was Edison playing Greninja, or they still haven't maybe left the arena yet. Maybe I'm reading too deep into it, but I think the counter pick with lineup metagame especially is super important, right? When we started off with a Min lead. And I'm forgetting the other character already. Oh, Fox, right? Min and Fox to open up, and that's a matchup that like could be playable if the Fox player is kind of accustomed to dealing with Min, because otherwise she's great at catching players who are love pressing buttons. So if you know someone's a bit more patient or a bit more aware of what Min's antics and semantics, they could be the best one to try and lead with the Min. But now the other team, the one with Min, could just be like, oh, well, you know, we don't want to lead with Min. We want to try to have someone else to tear through as many stocks, have Min maybe do cleanup crew instead, because they thought the way the stock distribution was a little too close, and they were not liking how they're playing all the way down to 1-0. So you just kind of have to wait and see what these teams want to do for adaptation of characters. But I think that metagame in its own is very interesting.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to see how they'll play out. We'll see which players go in momentarily, but I think overall, when you look at these two teams, I mean, it's still very early in the season, and there are a lot of schools in this league, so it's hard to kind of judge where these teams will end up. But right now, if they're going to play like this through every match, I mean, there's something to be said about, you know, being in every match, right? If you go down very early, like you drop your first 3 without taking a stock or so, it can really be a detriment, because you go, oh man, I didn't keep it close enough or something like that. But the bounce back is something that's so important. If as long as you're in every single match and you can keep it close, it's that feeling of, okay, as long as there's a chance, that's all we need is one solid chance. So here's a chance to possibly even up the score line. It looks like we're going to get ready. There it is, game number 1, and it looks like we're going to see the same characters as the first set.
Yep, we're open up the same exact way. UAlbany having Frank represent with Fox, and SUNY Canton A, SUNY Canton A opening up with Curls on Min. I feel like, I guess from SUNY Canton's perspective, if it isn't broke, don't need to fix it. Right? They had Min open before. Eventually, the stock distribution worked out when they still ended up winning. Is that an early SD? There's no way. He got clipped so early on and fell a little too far, a little too fast. Man, I wonder if that was a misimport, if he just wasn't expecting the angle or something. But Frank already a stock down is a massive disadvantage, because this allows Curls so much more opportunity to potentially get this Fox faster and do even more damage to successive players. What a chakram. There's a side special. Is he able to make it back? Finally, is able to grab ledge from not being that deep. We have the back throw here, probably fishing for the laser dragon. Chakram been clipped. The 2-frame doesn't quite get it, but I love the ledge trap opportunities available nonetheless. We got a Nair and a down tilt. No further follow-ups. We have the Megawatt Nair. Look at that coverage. Jump super high with the up special and drag down while you have the dragon and laser for so much vertical area. It's deceptively strong. And now we're almost even with the 2 stock difference. There it is, pretty much even. Now UAlbany B is struggling to keep up with this stock count right now.
Yeah, Frank has got to find something quickly, but it's just so difficult to get in on this Min right now. Curls is doing such a good job of walling out Frank. There's nowhere easy for Frank to enter from. And the movement, too, just being able to read where Frank wants to be. Again, just so difficult, and we'll have to see if Frank can find a space to get back, but they got to find a way back to stage, and there's no way back from that line. Curls with a 3 stock to open up set number 2.
Only having taken 69.7% across all 3 stocks, Curl is going to walk away with a massive lead for SUNY Canton A. UAlbany B is already playing from a crazy behind position now with only 6 stocks to 9. That's tough. That's absolutely tough. You have any player get 3 stocks here, especially in a 3v3 format. We only have 9 stocks total. That's an entire third of your team's life force just cleaved, gone with nothing to trade for it. Just think about if you play a natural war of attrition from here, right? 1-1. If you have less stocks, you're going to lose. So SUNY Canton A doesn't even have to play super aggressive. They don't have to play like a killer, hunting for blood, right? Trying to get all the stocks down, trying to run this back. They're chilling, straight chilling. They can just relax. They wanted to, they can play 1 stock for 1 stock and be completely fine. They can play 1 stock for 2 stocks for a lot of it too and just be fine. That's entirely up to them, but I feel like there's nothing stopping Curls now. That Min Min can really properly test the metal against potentially the Lucina, potentially the Greninja, and I feel like, Min Min will still do just fine in both those matchups. Of those two characters, I would recommend sending in the Lucina, but we'll see if we got any other characters lined up or if they decide the Greninja really wants to be the one to handle it. But we're going to be hopping into Hollow Bastion as our next stage, and me as a Kingdom Hearts fan always love seeing it, always love engaging with that universe, getting the music back. But yeah, we're gonna have Kirby next. We're gonna have the Corrin here. My bad, different teams, not the Lucina. We're gonna have the Corrin to respond up against Min Min, as we did see last time, to try and clean out the Min Min. We'll see how well Kirby can handle this. I still think Min Min is, especially to take the adaptation from last set, where she just took her time to chip out a bunch of damage on Corrin instead of trying to maintain a proper advantage state, just because Corrin can reversal that decently easily against Min Min's slower moves with Corrin's neutral air, and from there, Corrin turning around with a bunch more damage because of those consistent combos. I think Min Min just wants to play this at a distance, and she will be just fine.
Yeah, and for the side of Kerbini and University of Albany, they're feeling the pressure right now. After a 3-stock, you're at that big deficit. So they're going to be looking for opportunities to make those big plays, to find quick ways to take stocks. But right now, they're on fire with it. The back air connects on Curls, and down goes stock number 1. So 1/3 of the way there, but still a lot of work to be done here.
Right. Looks like Curls might need some more time to try and figure out how to play this matchup again, especially around this new stage here with Hollow Bastion. And it seems like Kirby was really pushing that advantage state, going combo after combo. Perfect jump breather for recovery, getting that back there as well. We'll have to wait and see what adaptations are in place. But right now, Kirby is seeming pretty comfortable with the combos able to land, already evening out and lapping in percent. From earlier on, Curls is struggling to land anything significant right now. Kirby rather using that movement. Keep yourselves safe. Great play. Insane shield damage there from the tipper of the side special, the pin. Always got to be looking out for that. Great moving away from the grab. That's an actual pressure tool that on Min Min's end may not really be the best option, but a lot of people were getting hit by it, or especially Frank, earlier on by the pivot grab. So great awareness here from being to keep aerial distance. Wow, cashing landing again, and that's another stock gone. Are we going to see a restock in response to even this out?
I am so impressed by Kerbini's spacing, just in general. They're able to space around a lot of pivot grabs. Not that one, though, as that's going to put Kerbini up to that kill percentage, and this is where things get really tough. You want to take this 3rd stock without dropping your own to try and even things up, but it's so difficult being at this high of a percent, and Min Min has got so many good kill options, including the Megawatt there, just covering the straight line down. Can't drop down fast enough, and here's another opportunity. The edge guard in there, the ledge trump, but it's actually going to be Corrin who gets trumped out, so that's going to allow Curls back to stage.
Right, at least Curls was able to land 1 stock to try and push some sort of lead for the team. But I mean, the 3 stocks, ending up to 2 stocks to 0 is a pretty significant advantage for UAlbany to close it out. But wow, I will eat my words on that one. Great back throw into Dragon Laser to close out yet another stock. This is where the lead is building for sure now. And this is big for SUNY Canton. I think at this point, Curls has done their job, already having taken 5 stocks of the opposing, 9 stocks on the whole team. So that's already over half the team done single-handedly by 1 person. At this point, Curls can probably be okay with letting things play out as is. This 101%, they're probably going to die pretty soon. But if they want to eke out one more kill on Kerbini and get to say that they played against all 3 players all by their lonesome, potential is there.
46%, and again, Min Min can chip away at percent pretty quickly, especially from a distance. Kirby, I think they're starting to feel the pressure too. They were playing patient before, but they want the stock, and they'll get it too off of that back air. I think all 3 stocks off of that Min Min were taken by a Corrin back air, but player 1 down for SUNY Canton, and now we'll have to see who they opt to send in next.
Right. That Corrin back here kind of spaced itself, has a bit of a momentum shift where Corrin, if she's facing to the left, will actually push herself a little bit left with the wings from the back here, but it's also a very potent kill move, and it's got quite solid horizontal range. So very, very useful move. One of Corrin's best moves for sure in her toolkit. But now she's sitting here with only 1 stock. Kirby's only got 1 stock left, and early we saw Waka and Lucina pull up in response and kind of have more of an even exchange beforehand, only walking with 1 stock for the end of that set. But now that Kerbini only has 1 stock, there's a good chance that if they did want to send in Waka again to deal with Kerbini, walk away with 2 stocks, potentially 3, and then have to go up against Edison's Greninja at the end with a relatively healthy Lucina able to tear through a lot of Greninja stocks. The potential is there. But we did see Edison absolutely obliterate Waka's stock last game. So who really knows how the outcome is? We're seeing a lot of back and forth between these two teams right now. Super, super exciting.
And you could also think too, to some degree, you could try and think, okay, well, Link Greninja was really close when they had even stocks. Maybe they want to try and think about how what stage they want to go to and think, okay, what would be close, right? How many stocks you want to try and take? Because obviously you want to try and take as many, but we'll have to see, kind of gauge how this one goes. Because remember, the last time these two played last set, it was down to the wire. It was down to last stock, but it was the forwarder to up B that ended up cleaning up the game between those two. So maybe they want to say, hey, I like the link into the Corrin more. Or maybe they think, well, this Lucina, it's going to get the job done because it did last time. That's the mind game that these teams are playing right now. That's the chess match, and we're seeing Top Dog entering with DK instead, or I believe we're getting a substitute instead. It's Squid, who we did not see last game. Donkey Kong entering the arena against Corrin. I'm excited. Donkey Kong is one of those massive characters. Of course, he can get comboed very easily, but every move on Donkey Kong is so satisfying to land.
Wow, I'm so flabbergasted by the Donkey Kong counter pick. I feel like if you try to do the math here, I think Donkey Kong is a very difficult pick into this matchup. I think he's very easy combo food. He's going to get disjointed a lot, but at the same time, he is a hard hitter, and we're seeing some crazy grab combos in offstage gameplay, already attempting a stage spike with the cargo back throw off stage. If your goal is to simply eliminate a single stock, maybe Donkey Kong isn't the worst idea, but I feel like Corrin's got a fighting chance to try and take out at least one of Squid stock here. Wow, able to keep his distance away from that pin. He's living as a back air in response. We got Corrin off stage attempting the neutral air. We're gonna have some invincibility / armor on that Corrin up special. It's a bit hard to challenge. We did see Walker with Lucina counter before. That's a good option, but a lot of times with the hitboxes and invulnerability that one offers, it's difficult to try and really challenge that, especially the character like Donkey Kong without any disjoints. So hopefully he doesn't try going for too much of that anymore afterwards. But man, this is looking dangerous. There is the armored up special, and he's gonna be able to walk away with all 3 stocks. Wow, what a gamble of a pick right there. I was genuinely surprised by Donkey Kong, but I mean, here we are. Because he actually somehow able to eke out that victory there, still keep all 3 stocks up against Rubini, and I think that is genuinely phenomenal. The play was as I expected, lots of damaging strings there for Kirby, but a couple of really solid combos from Donkey Kong to add up to 40-80% each. And then from there, just be fishing for those kill moves, kill opportunities. And we saw that startup of that up B was almost right as the hitbox for that back air came out, arming in those very, very early frames. That could have gone either way. That definitely would have killed if Donkey Kong had not decided to throw out that armored move. But because he had, and he was spinning that tornado, got that punish, got that kill, it's a different story to tell.
And sometimes that's the risk you have to take as a heavy, right? Because you think, okay, I'm a heavy, I'm going to get hit a lot, I'm going to get, outspaced by this sword. That's a lot of the matchups for a character like Donkey Kong. So sometimes you have to take that risk and be like, all right, I've got armor on this move and it's grounded, so it's going to have a lot more knockback, and let's just rip it and see what happens. And they ended up winning the coin flip there, frames away from it not working, like you said. But well done. And the heavies are just built for taking stocks, especially in crew battle formats like this. If you need 1 stock and you've got a little bit of room to spare, the heavies who are built for taking multiple hits, for surviving a little bit longer, and for just outputting damage in 2 or 3 neutral wins, that's what they're built for. So well done by Squid to take that stock. You're back up to that full kind of player count lead, and while you may get counterpicked here, your job is essentially done. You've done what has been set out to do.
That's absolutely incredible. I'm still in shock a little speechless about that Donkey Kong. And I mean, that's not the last we'll be seeing of him since he's got all 3 of his stocks. It's we're gonna have Donkey Kong up here against UAlbany's next player. I'm very interested to see what the character pick is going to be because, like I said, for me, the math seems like Corin does very well against Donkey Kong. But the volatility of dealing with these heavy hitters, right? Just a couple right reads. Doesn't matter what character you're playing. At that point, you're in for a ride, right? No matter what, you're in for a ride. Like just as a very prominent recent example, we had a Kirby kid make top 8 at Lost Tech City as a K-Rua main. Right, King K. Rool, a big heavy hitter, got to utilize that armor, utilize that reflector, and especially utilizing the blunderbuss and the crown, right? But as a whole, right, a big body, pretty easy combo food too, and ends up beating players like Yanni, beating Steve, like an absolute combo monster, right? Who would love to be eating up that K. Rool and do infinite damage, right? But somehow Kirby Kid found his way through, just making the right calls, making the right reads, and especially the right counters to close out some of those stocks dangerously quickly. So heavies have always got that kill potential. You just got to get in your opponent's head.
Razor entering the arena for the side of Albany. SUNY Canton. We'll have to see if they can clean up the last player here. Love to see the depth of both of these rosters making an appearance too. You know, player 4 at least not, making an appearance. You only get 3 per match, so it'll be fun to see. This is a different Greninja than last time too, and going up against DK again. Greninja's got the combos, so they should be, in theory, easier. And edge guards also worth noting. DK, a very susceptible recovery. I love how Squid just keeps testing the tech game of every player. Got to get that grab, got to walk them off stage and throw them into the stage, just to check and see if they're ready for it.
Yeah, it is a really funny litmus test that Squid's been going for repeatedly. We saw it before, we saw it again. I wouldn't be surprised if he attempted to go for it yet again anyway. It's just a fun little reaction check that people can mess up decently easily. Ooh, nice catch on landing with number, not quite good enough to kill. Great down smash read on landing. And Razor's gonna take that first stock here, but Squid's still in the game. 101%. Any big moves from Donkey Kong at this point will probably be taken out by Greninja pretty soon. But this is a great combo opportunity for Greninja. Up air, back air, and a couple of straight hits, and we're already at 46%. There's the spot dodge up tilt. Greninja is a little bit on the heavier side. He's gonna get totally popped by the next big move that Donkey Kong has to throw out. I think still live this up as well. In the game, this is Greninja's big opportunities to start building a crazy lead if possible.
This is that very important window here. He's got Squid in disadvantage. He's able to make it back to stage, and there, pulls the trigger on the up B, and it catches him, and that's going to be the stock. So 1 stock down from Razor here, and oh my goodness, he almost caught that air dodge too. He's able to get by for the moment, but Razor wanting these combos, but eating a lot of percent, just trying to be aggressive and trying to find that opener in the first place.
Yeah, this is looking a lot rougher for Razor now. I think Squid's been playing a bit more of a spacing game, trying to use those really big Donkey Kong body parts to keep that distance. Great catch on the jump there with the back air, but we still have Donkey Kong living, has that charge, the neutral B punch fully charged. Something to be afraid of. Oh, great catch of the forward air on the roll up. And Squid's going to beat down another stock. Still dangerously in that kill range pretty soon, especially with a hard hit like a neutral B or a side B forward smash or something crazy like that. But again, this is an opportunity for Razor to build a lead. You've got that combo-centric gameplay style. And if keep DK in stun lock forever, keep himself busy. Oh, great double jump there with the Hydro Pump. Push him away, but thankfully he didn't use up B. He's still able to live. Squid's going to find his way back to the stage yet again after a forward throw. That percent is racking up. There's potential here for Razor to be taking another one of Squid stocks and walk away with 2 stocks here till last game, thus making it not too disadvantaged for UAlbany B. This is a very pivotal moment for the rest of this crew battle.
Huge moment here. We haven't seen something like a side B from either Greninja. Now that I think about it, well, timing is everything, I guess. He uses it to attempt to recover, and then Nair actually beats it up, but he air dodges instead. Oh no, a buffered air dodge or something along those lines takes down Squid, so Razor keeps his second stock entering the third match between these two.
Yep, and now we get SUNY Canton A right back onto their last player with only a 1 stock lead, jumping from 3 stocks to 1 at the end of this. Great play from Razor to try and keep the team in the game, try not to get too phased out by the Donkey Kong. And we're gonna have Top Dog in next here from SUNY Canton A, and we're probably gonna be seeing the link again, but it's potential for a character switch. I'm not sure. Not trying to call anything too crazy. It is 3 stocks to 2. We saw the link work before. No reason not to throw out the link again. But I mean, we've been seeing some roster changes here, which is pretty unconventional. So you never know what character swaps could be on the table as well.
Yeah, I said earlier, I like to see the depth of the roster, right? You know, you only get to see 3 players from each team, usually each week, but to have that 4th or 5th guy that, you know, can cover a certain matchup or has that one, you know, character that maybe you need a little extra practice against or something. That's always fun to see. But Top Dog, we saw the link be able to clutch it out at the end of the last set, and I mean, I don't see why not. The strategy so far, you know, earlier at least, has been if it ain't broke, don't fix it, and we'll have to see if that remains to be the case. It's going to be a difficult task for Razor either way, though, because even if, say they do send in the link, right? Say it is locking in the link again, then they already just played that matchup against a Greninja, and there's a little bit of difference, you know, between play styles between Razor and Edison. Excuse me, but you know. Just coming off of that matchup already, now you're already, you know, have that muscle memory of, okay, here's the spacing that I need, here's what worked, you know, here's the kind of hitbox that I'm dealing with. So already that experience on the line here, and we'll have to see if they're able to clutch it out a stock ahead this time.
All right, now we are starting to go into Kalos Pokemon League, another stage we're haven't been seeing too much of, not super often. I think, again, both characters are probably going to be okay to some degree with this stage. It's still relatively flat, relatively wide. They want to be thrown out their long-range pokes if they can, but Greninja is eventually going to want to find their way in. So Link is going to have a field day with all the chipping out he can do with arrows, boomerangs, and bombs. But right now, Razor has been playing pretty aggressive, trying to apply so much pressure to Link and not give him any time or space to think about what to throw out, let alone throwing it out. Oh, great combo potential there from the bomb. There's an air dodge read with a boomerang into a forward air, throwing the bomb here at ledge. To get that wall jump to make his way back. He's going to air dodge and grab the bomb, but he's going to forward smash for his troubles on the way in. Top Dog looking for potential hits off ledge with that up special, hence why not going for the sweet spot. Doesn't quite get it. Not punished for his troubles either, though. Loving these ledge setups by leaving the bomb at that top right platform. There's going to be a down smash forward air whiff into down, or rather down throw forward air whiff into a potential down smash. Doesn't quite get it either. Now we're back to ledge trap situation. Link is looking a little rough here, but entering that hard read, or definitely in that hard read kill range, and entering that more consistent kill setup as well.
Razor is moving right now. He is looking for every setup that he can, especially when he is able to grab that bomb. Low recovery, and he'll be able to get around the bomb too. The boomerang also slow to come out there, and the down smash is going to take it. So even stock count, but still a lot of percent on the board. So Razor's got to be very careful here, but just every opening, they're looking for something, right? They're looking for that next read, and it feels like they're getting closer and closer. They're starting to get a read of Top Dog's movement.
Yeah, it looks like Top Dog's getting greedy, too. I saw him throw 2 kill options that are very risky. One was the grounded up special, and the other was the dash attack. Both are decently reliable at taking stocks, but have a lot of startup and require to be used in the right situation. There's the second hit of fair, thrown out with the jump in, and is able to land a kill here. Now only 36% extra credit. This is looking pretty good for Top Dog, especially since the chipping out has begun. They're just gonna have to fight his way in. Razor's gonna be looking for a potential early quick kill or gimp. Otherwise, gonna need to win a lot more neutral exchanges for crazy damage, because this gives Top Dog a lot more time to rack up percent, and that's something that Razor can't afford to give if they want to stay in the game.
Razor is in Top Dog's face a lot. They know that Top Dog's game plan at this point, it's Link. Utilize those projectiles. Just chip away at this stock. You've got kill power in that disjoint of the sword, right? So just continue to rack up percent, and Razor is just not allowing that situation to happen best they can, trying to find a way in and still trying to find a way to take that stock, but it's leaving them in a lot of kind of panicky scramble situations because they're so close to each other. They're all looking for that quick hit, but speaking of quick hits, down till up smash, the sweet spot, 77%, and this is, well, set life for both of these players.
Yeah, this could potentially get just about even here, actually. Razor's been putting in crazy work. Here we are, dead even. Effectively, great parry, no punish. I did want to point out, I saw Razor getting a little greedy last stock to try and speed up the process, but turns out that it ended up being the right move as they were eventually able to land the kill. Now they actually lapped the percent and have the lead. Top Dog is struggling to find a way in. Ooh, that could have been a crazy read. Find his way back into stage, jabbed out of a nair. What is next? What's the ledge trap situation going to be? Fishing for that fair. Okay, we got a nair in. No fault afterwards. Bomb dropped. Ooh, look at these strings. Naired into it. There's the boomerang. 92 versus 115. Either are in race to kill. One of them, that's a strong forward air. Catch with a back air. And that is going to be game. Razor is going to keep UAlbany in the set. We are 1-1 between these two teams. Wow, Razor did so much work to clean up after the lead that Curls had provided to SUNY Canton. Absolutely incredible.
My jaw dropped. I can't believe Razor pulled that off. That was incredible to watch. I mean, like you said, it felt like he was getting a little risky at times. It felt like he was doing some unsafe stuff, but when you're down, you gotta take risks. You gotta find a way to get yourself back into the game, and right there, able to find just full extension to go out there on that last stock and find that back air. He had not found that back air edge guard all day at any of the characters that he fought throughout this set. And finally, on last stock, last hit at that rage percent, he goes out there and he finds the double jump. That was fantastic to watch and really well done. And Top Dog, again, kept it very close. But at the end of the day, when you're in, that type of matchup, you got to find a way to get the job done, and you got to be a little bit more careful with, if you are constantly in the face of this frog that is just pressuring you time and time again, the slow options are not going to work. You've got good out of shield options, but you also have to find a way to take that stock, and it just wasn't quite there in time at the end of the day. So because of that, we get to see a third match, and I'm excited. It's been a nail-biter back-to-back.
Right, we're seeing secret weapon after secret weapon, comeuppance after comeuppance, right? Huge leads, neutered, and then leads comes right back, and then neutered again, nullified entirely. It's been an absolute roller coaster, especially that second game of the set. And now here we are moving to a game 3. UAlbany is still in it. Razor was a huge boon towards UAlbany's team composition, to dealing out so much damage, getting so many stocks taken care of. I really thought SUNY Canton had it in the bag after he had a 3-stock from Curls very early on, but it looks like that's not going to be quite enough, right? You have Carabini, you have Frank, trying to put out that damage, right? Carabini to neutralize the threat, and then you had Razor at the end of it all to get rid of the Donkey Kong, to eventually get rid of the Link. Great gameplay all around.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see how this third set goes. And now that we've seen, multiple players for both sides, now there's even more, of that chess match going on for both of these teams. Do we want to stick to who we've sent in first? Do we want to send in, our anchor as the lead man this time, or something along those lines? Both times they've sent out the Min Fox matchup, and it felt like, Curls had a read on what they needed to do to get Frank off the table very quickly last time. So you have to have that feeling in the back of your head that, okay, there's a curveball incoming right off the bat this time around. But other than that, just everything is on the table. It could be anyone, anywhere, at any point in time for this opening match.
Right. On one hand, you'd think, oh, there's no way UAlbany B wants to open up with Frank again, considering how much he struggled with the Min matchup, and it leads to a pretty significant stock deficit, especially in that second game. But on the other hand, the second game was still won. You can potentially apply the principle of if it isn't broke, don't fix it yet again, even to something as potentially dangerous and volatile as getting your first player 3 stock by the opposing first player. I don't know. I could actually honestly see both, because honestly, after the first game, I was thinking, I mean, there's no way they send out Frank, right? I mean, he struggled so much in that matchup. There's already a pretty solid lead for Min to work through. That's difficult, right? They want to change that up. Second game, they ran with Frank again, and he lost even harder again. So I don't know. I mean, do they want to run it one more time? They think there's something that Frank can do here, or do they want to try and save him for another matchup that he might be significantly more comfortable with? Because it really doesn't seem like Min was working out. I don't know. We're just gonna have to wait and see.
Yeah, it'll be interesting because, well, you know, like you said, the Min matchup seemed rough, but if you look at the rest of the cast, aside from maybe Lucina, it feels like Fox has a lot easier of a time, all right? Lucina can still be difficult, but it feels a lot more manageable because, you know, it's kind of like your classic melee matchup, right? Marth versus Fox, where they both can kind of beat up on each other. It's a very different game, but still. The point is that maybe there's a matchup they're trying to get Frank into that's not the Min matchup that they're trying to kind of work around to get to, and because Frank, you saw, it has the capability of, you know, pulling off some combos and getting getting characters to that kill percent. It just struggled to take stocks, and even in game 2, one of those stocks was lost just because of an air dodge. So it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out from here, as those teams are still kind of debating and deliberating as to where to go and who to send in at the moment.
Right, yeah, we're still getting our stage bans, our Lanif's taken care of, but I'm thinking we're getting some information here. We're going to have UAlbany sending Kerbini to open with instead of Frank, and we're going to have Curls on from SUNY Canton side. So now here we have, you know, a star player here on UAlbany's side alongside Razor. We've also seen Kerbini put a lot of work, and now we have Frank pushed to later down in the lineup to give him an opportunity to shine as well. It seems he's been struggling so much with Min. So now we have Kerbini here to try and answer and match the Min, and historically has done quite well. Has been, you know, effectively the cleanup crew up against Curls ahead of time. There's a lot of potential here.
So the Kerbini on the Corrin gonna be locked in, and the Corrin has proven to be working so far. At least, you know, being able to take stocks and keep it close most of the time. But you know, we get a rematch of the Lucina for the opening round here, and again, last time these two met, I think it was dead even in stock count, and it came down to really last hit where Lucina gets forward air into up B to seal away the game. So set number 3 underway, PS2 the site of it.
Right, yeah, turns out it wasn't Curls to open, but instead is Waka. We're pretty much seeing the second game, or rather second setup, a pair of players from the first game in this set. That's confusing. Basically, we've seen these two players play before, and pretty excited to see what adaptation made. But yeah, we did have Waka some barely come out on top in a very risky, dangerous situation before. But generally, the way the game flew was that Kerbini landed a lot of solid hits, and Waka was looking more for ledge guard or ledge trapping situations instead. Nice forward air follow-up here. We're probably looking for a counter. No, rolls on stage instead and tries to ledge trap with a forward smash. A little difficult to land the consistency there. Now we have Kerbini catching landing. Nice downer here to beat out the up B. Up B is an interesting option there. Surprised that pin actually missed, but I guess Lucina adjusted her hurt box a bit by forward smashing. Interesting play, but trying to work out nonetheless. That was dangerous offstage gameplay, but they're both able to make it back. We finally get a dancing blade to close out the first stock. This is a potential significant lead for Canton to build, but nothing that UAlbany can't come back.
Yeah, but it's up to Kerbini to, again, make a play to get this back to even. But no need to panic, right? It's still early, just the first set, just the first game between these two, and you're still at a low percent, but They're off stage now, kept to the corner a lot. Waka doing a great job of holding stage control, but the openings that Kerbini finds are so clean there. The up air able to take the stock, 24% gap between these two, but it's really not all that much in the big scope of things. So here's an opening though. Jab reset onto the Dancing Blade gets even more, and these early up Bs have kind of been paralyzing pendulum-esque. They either work really well or have not gotten much done.
Right, yeah, Lucina's up B is a very, very great defensive tool, and sometimes you can use it really offensively too, whether it be something fishing for stage spikes or even a close out a combo. But, ooh, nice, there's the neutral B charge into Law. I guess it's more of a bite. Jaw. Jaw is the way to go. So here's a percent lead here now for Corin. Lucina's got to be careful on his uppies because the risk reward is honestly probably skewed in the favor of the risk, but the reward is nice if you're able to land it. It's not super hard on the decision making end to decide when you want to up B as long as you aren't using it too carefree. That's a great run up and kind of temporary shield there from Waka, and rather great spacing there on that back air, and timing as well to now give Kerbini a bit of a lead, but not something that Waka can't come back from. I'm loving these reverse rising up airs from Kerbini. Not the first time I've seen them. Great back air from Waka. Somehow actually very surprised that back air didn't kill. The counter was a bit misspaced. Kerbini's going to find their way back to stage. 161% and finally taken out by our back air. Still 64% deficit. This looks like Kerbini's game to take and try to open up with a UAlbany lead. Let's see if Waka can respond or if Kerbini's going to walk away with one stock moving into the next game.
I really like what Kerbini is doing defensively, and there they find the offense as the back air again, just solidly spaced and able to take that stock down. That might have been a JV there on that last stock. Not sure if they were touched, but either way, they hold on to the stock and they've got the lead now headed into the second match.
Right, yeah, UAlbany is going to have a one stock lead, and it's going to be on a player like Kerbini, who I think has very good potential for tearing through a stock or maybe even two on whoever player they send in next, right? If they want to send in Curls, for example, Kerbini's historically done decently well against Curls. I'm not sure if Kerbini's ever had to actually play Top Dog. Did actually struggle with Squid last time around. Rather, didn't struggle, kept things even, did end up losing the one-on-one. So if they want to send in Squid again to try and neutralize that one stock, they could. But I think Donkey Kong is kind of volatile to send in here, so I think Pearls is probably the safer option. But at the same time, because we know Kerbini is able to take stocks, if you really want to be playing stock preservation, maybe you actually want to send in Top Dog here second to try and just clean out Kerbini with a matchup that hasn't been played on stream yet. And then from there, try to see if Link can work his way backwards to the last player and then have Curls play cleanup crew on the team. That is probably what I would do if I was in charge of draft, but we'll wait and see what SUNY Canton wants to be doing here.
Yeah, and again, only one stock on Kerbini. What I was going to say right at the end of that matchup was I like what Kerbini was doing defensively in terms of their movement. It wasn't just, dashing back and giving up space, but it was also, doing things like when Waka would approach, they would use something like dash attack to not only cover potential space from the ledge, but also to get back to center stage. So it's not just Corin using back air and moving themselves with it, but also using other moves to kind of go to a space where it both covers where you think they might go, and it also gets you out of the way if it's not the correct prediction. We get to see the second player, though, here, and it's Top Dog entering early, the anchor, stepping in the second slot here, trying to take down one stock of Kerbini and even up this match.
Right, as I said, this is what I would have done if I were in charge of drafts. I'm really happy to see this pick here from Canton to try and stop the bleeding and try to reverse the tides. But the ultimate, unknown in this equation, right? The variable we don't know is how does Kerbini fare in this matchup? Is Kerbini able to land a stock ahead of time, or is Top Dog going to be able to walk away with no stocks taken? That's kind of where the big point of contention in terms of momentum is.
Huge stock here for Kerbini. They were able to win that first one, but if they are able to take another, that would be huge. But right now, the struggle is getting through here because Top Dog has a full practic 100% plus now lead,
Oh
and the
my
bomb is
goodness.
also going to clean it up. No chance for Kerbini to get back to stage, so Top Dog evens up the match.
It really felt like Top Dog was the only one playing the game in that match, where they're only taking 14.7% that entire time. I mean, Kerbini was getting hit left and right by so many different projectiles, and most importantly, the bombs. I think what both Granger players, Edison and Razor, did really well at when playing against Top Dog was avoiding the bombs. It was rarely an issue for them. Sure, it was an annoyance. The active hitbox of the bomb itself is a problem, but the actual explosion of the bombs were not really a point of contention at all, and neither Granger had a super deal with it. But yeah, it helps that they're faster than Corin. But at the same time, they're still about the same-ish height, same body size, so there's a bit of game planning you have to also do around it. And Kerbini was just getting hit by explosion after explosion. And I mean, that distance was kept the entire time. Half the damage that Top Dog took there was from his own bomb, right? It wasn't even that Kerbini landed multiple hits to get that 14%. It was only about 7% that Kerbini had taken care of. So pretty huge display yet again from Top Dog. Not the first time that Kerbini had one stock to work with and wasn't able to make a super big dent, as we saw with Squid's Donkey Kong last time. So now that we have Top Dog in, right, at full all three stocks, who does UAlbany want to send in next, right? We've seen Edison and Razor before as Grinja players. Edison played up against Top Dog first game. Pretty close, almost last hit situation, but we had an eke out from Top Dog towards the end. But then the second game, we saw Razor play from a disadvantage and actually was still able to end up winning that game. So that's pretty big in Razor's favor to point out that there's potential to take out Top Dog entirely, you know, and with from 2 stocks to 3, still be able to win with 1 stock high percent. It's possible that if there's 3 to 3 stocks over time, Razor could build even a bigger lead. But of course, we can't forget about Frank, the Fox player. Actually, that is we're going to have sending X. I'm excited to see now Frank potentially play a different matchup, one that he may be more comfortable with, as to not get slapped around by Min Arms too much.
Yeah, and I was going to mention this too. I think if ever there was a time to put him in, this would be the opportunity, right? Because you're talking about all those projectiles that Link can chip away at you with. Easy way to deal with them. Just down B is Fox. You've got that reflector. You've got a way to deal with it. And you've got the speed to also, you know, maneuver around a lot of what Link can throw at you. So this one's going to be a lot more fun, I think, for Frank to try and play around away from all those Min Rs. But we'll get to see what they can do here in, I think, a quicker paced match is what I'm assuming we'll see. But Top Dog with early control here of center stage, but all they need is one opening.
Ooh. Yeah, on paper you can see a somewhat similar matchup being applied here as with Min, with where Link wants to be keeping his distance, still a good amount of time, but Link's playing more of a mid-range, where he wants to still be able to follow up off bomb or boomerang while chipping away with air. But wow, great bomb explosion to take out Frank's first stock. Frank ultimately will still be playing the classic rush down versus zoner matchup, where he's just trying to find his way in and get his own combos and strings going, right? You don't want to get that run in there, want to get those up tilts, want to get those up air follow-ups, eventually be fishing for those near up smash kill confirms or something like that. But I mean, currently Frank's haven't been struggling trying to deal with Top Dog. And again, Top Dog's able to land the bomb to finish out that stock earlier. Ooh, great reflect here from Frank to keep himself safe. But how is he going to find his way in without getting chipped out too much? It seems like he's struggling every time you maybe potentially find some way in. Top Dog is able to reposition for free. Ooh, that was an up smash anti-air, but somehow right there, Frank had perfect timing to get through the multiple slashes and is able to get away with a forward air. But still, the percent's about even here with a stock lap. This could be huge for Top Dog to be building a big lead for SUNY Canton A, that then Razor or Edison would have to work their way up.
Ooh, that's a catch. That's an up smash. It's not the stock quite yet, but Frank's got to be very careful here. Link hits like a truck in that forward smash. The second one will clean up that second stock. And so Frank now on their last, and Frank taking a lot of percent from the boomerang. 60 off of that forward smash. The bomb drops him down.
What a string!
Low recovery,
he's too far down. He's not able to make it back. What a absolutely incredible and fantastic string there from Top Dog towards the end. Whether it be this conversions from combos, whether it be getting the bomb explosion at the right timing, or just the bomb throwing off ledge on its own to disorient Frank enough, where now Frank falls to his doom. Unfortunately, just a little bit late on the trigger. I know the hit stun for that bomb isn't long enough where Fox would not be able to recover from that. It is unfortunate that Frank either wasn't paying attention or wasn't aware, maybe just misinput or something, that he wasn't able to get the up B back to return to stage. Now Frank is down with all three stocks here on Top Dog. So we've seen Razor deal with Top Dog before, all three stocks of it too. But here's the thing, right? Razor walked away with only one stock of high percent, having gotten it with two. So let's say the math adds up pretty evenly, and now Razor's going to walk away let's say Razor's able to take out Top Dog, walk away with two stocks again, right? Or two stocks this time around. And so now he has to be dealing with SUNY Canton's last player again on a two-stock deficit, but this time for a different matchup. Who knows if he can make that work or not? Because that could be curls. It could be Squid, could be curls. Could be seeing DK. I feel it's unlikely to be having DK as third here. I think curls is definitely the better pick here, especially up against Greninja. Who knows? Who knows? But I think right now, UAlbany is in a very dangerous position, and I feel Top Dog is also thirsting for blood, right? Having taken out Greninja first time around, dropping a Greninja second time around, not happy. Not happy with it. Definitely out for revenge. Let's see what Top Dog can make happen. 3 stocks on 3. They're even.
We'll have to see. As also the fact that Top Dog wants the run back too. Like thinking back on it, Top Dog was 1 stock away, had the lead, and could not close this set out earlier. They want redemption here to try and clean this one up and get the win here in set number 3, and they've got, again, an early lead at Top Dog. Just time and time again, really good at getting these early advantages, not just in terms of percent, but usually able to confirm stocks off of it as well. 102, and the bomb connects.
Goodness.
No chance to tech the stage there, not enough time, and down goes Razor's first stock.
What a perfect down throw on that bomb to get the stage spike after detonation. That angle was absolutely incredible. Top Dog was playing this stock so much better compared to previous stocks up against Razor, but this isn't the end for Razor. There wasn't a sweet spot there. Caught the jump. You're going to have to use the bomb recovery. There was no other way to be able to make it back. Still able to land that downer despite how long it was out in the air. Great stuff there from Torrent. From Top Dog. Be able to keep his sub alive and keep applying the damage and the pressure to Razor. This is looking a lot rougher for UAlbany this time around.
Yeah, a lot of work to be done. And the counter not going to take the stock either. Bomb recovery again, and that neutral B almost ended up catching him, but not quite enough. He'll shoot by it. 147 on Top Dog right now, and you can tell Razor, again, trying to be in the face of this link, trying to make sure that you can't just poke away, and that neutral B will connect and clean up the stock. So back to even stock count, but every stock taken here for Top Dog is just gravy on top of the pile here for the side of SUNY Canton.
Right, I feel Razor's feeling the flow of this matchup a little better now. And is finally able to land the really consistent hits to find their way in, playing neutral a lot more intelligently, I guess, to fight around the wall instead of getting clipped and chipped by everything that Link has to offer. But that was a great ledge catch with the nair jump and second hit of fair and almost taking that stock pretty early. There's the bomb explosion. Ooh, the hydro pump's gonna mess up their cover. You get a down smash punish. Could have been something crazy by running past the forward smash in the opposite direction, potentially looking for a kill. But Razor's the Greninja player, not me. And trying to even out this percent. Looking decently favorable now here in Razor's end too. Almost even in that kill ranges both ways. This is kind of situations that we were looking at the end of last set. Razor was able to pull through, but Top Dog is still in it. Ooh, runs away from the counter. That could have been a huge punish from Top Dog if he was closer.
Nair is not going to kill. That bomb, though, will do it. So, last life here for Razor. Last life for Albany this week. Can they find a way to pull off what is essentially going to be a miracle? 5 stocks and a lot of work to do, but they got to take this one first. All starts with this second stock at 120+% here for Top Dog. Along the ledge, good forward air to get back, and look at the strings, the pressure that Top Dog can apply just off of one solid hit. Get up attack too, just chipping away. Neutral B, not going to be able to take the stock quite yet. And the fade back Top Dog, just buying time, buying themselves a window to get a little bit more chip damage. Up air, still not enough, and the Nair clanking. Their defensive play is just so solid.
Yeah, top dog the up throw is not going to take it here. Wow, it seems like all the upward associated moves that Greninja has are just not coming in clutch to close out and take these kills. But this is looking super dangerous for UAlbany B. There's still a 68.1% deficit. And wow, catch with the upper right there, already putting Greninja in pretty significant disadvantage. Bomb is on the ground after hit. This could be a crazy combo. Ooh, he got hit by the second hit only of up smash. Uses downer to bounce on projectile and then bounce to Greninja. 129%. This is very, very close to the end of UAlbany B's set life here. I can't see how Top Dog is going to lose this at this point. It's really, really difficult for Razor to land all these hits. There's finally the up Yetta shield to send Razor flying to the top right blast zone. Top Dog is going to get his revenge. 3 stocks to 3. Right, mano y mano, just keeping the resources completely even. Top Dog's like, yeah, maybe you did beat me when you were down, but now finally I'm here standing on this stage to close it out. I stand over you, and Top Dog takes it over Razor for SUNY Canton A to take it over University of Albany B. What a tight set, going down to game 3. And lots of back and forth between the different players and different roster changes and eventually draft as well, in which order players will be going towards that 3rd game. But at the end of it all, we're going to have SUNY Canton A stand tall as they walk away from this set as the win.
SUNY Canton, they come away with the win this week. They get the win 2-1 over University of Albany. And I believe we'll have a chance to interview one of the players momentarily. But until then, we're going to take a short break. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Collegiate Esport Commissioners Cup 2022. I am Septilence, joined by Ethan, another cancer survivor and esports enjoyer, brought to us by the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. So, Ethan, of course, if you're comfortable, can you kind of walk us through what cancer you had and how long you were battling it for?
Of course. I have B-cell lymphoblastic lymphoma, which is a blood cancer. And I was diagnosed in March of 2017, and the day after we started treatment. And we had daily, weekly, and monthly chemo treatment appointments for nearly 4 years.
Wow.
And then of June of 2020, I finally took my last dose of chemo meds and finished, and I was in remission.
That's wonderful. That's fantastic. And you and I were talking a lot about kind of how you have a really unique kind of connection to esports, right? We talked about this off camera, and how you aren't a streamer like Brenda was, and you're not a player, you're simply an observer, you're a spectator, and how even being outside of the game can still be so impactful. So during that difficult time, what video games or esports did you find yourself kind of magnetized towards, attracted to?
Esports have always been something that has been close to me, and video games have always been close to me. But it really shone and really attached to me during treatment, because I was isolated. I was in the hospital for nearly weeks at a time. And watching streams of esports, I was able to interact with other people that I couldn't do physically in the hospital. It brings people together. It's a great community. And with video games, I'm able to log on to Minecraft with friends.
Right.
Go and screw around in a world.
Yeah.
When they got back home from school, and we could talk and just enjoy each other's time, even while I'm in the hospital.
Absolutely. And that's really interesting as well, because you and I had the chance to talk about how a lot of people are hesitant towards esports, right, and kind of video games as a whole, but you give such a unique kind of circumstance about what it can mean to somebody outside of the traditional life, outside of kind of what we've lived in. So if somebody were to kind of look at you and your connection to esports, how do you think you would kind of explain the impact it's had for you? Has it just kind of been that constant flow of positivity in such a dark time?
Yeah, I would explain that people are afraid because it's not traditional.
Right.
It's not something like football that's been here for dozens and a ton of years.
Yeah.
This is something new, and something that's bloomed from the first computer ever made, and that esports is able to bring people together. It's a big community that reaches all around the world. And that's the most important part of it, that it could reach people that you cannot talk to physically.
Yeah.
You can all enjoy something together, even when you're apart.
Beautifully said. Very well said. And before we kind of end our interview, I want to give you the opportunity, if there's anything that, I know you mentioned you don't stream, but if there's anybody you want to like shout out or just say thank you to, or anything you'd want to plug, I want to make sure you have that time.
I definitely want to plug LLS, and there's not really anything else I want to plug. Just LLS itself. It's so important, They work so hard.
Do you kind of want to explain something that we actually probably should have done earlier? Do you want to explain what that is and kind of how that brought you here?
LLS works really hard to fund top researchers and to find amazing things for blood cancer to help prolong kids and adults with blood cancer's life. And they're really important.
Absolutely. Well, Ethan, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for sharing your story.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Hey guys, K-Tad here, and welcome back to the ECAC Top Plays of the Week video. We're in week number 7, and trust me when I tell you, things have only been heating up. These teams are fighting for a chance to make it into the playoffs, and because of that, I mean, there's so much crazy action to get into, and, don't take my word for it. Let's check out the plays. Starting us off, it's a play that'll have you asking yourself, how did he do that? As Melee juggles and ping-pongs blighted right off the stage.
Because the projectiles are so ever-present, that reflector right there that you just saw is going to be in the back of Melee's mind throughout this set. But right now, Melee's doing a good job of getting around it, has the percent lead, and make it 64 right now on blighted stock. It's still being worked away at the combo setup.
At number 7, Red Ninja is just cleaning up the West as he gets this nice 3K to cap off the series.
Had a lot of fun with it too.
How does that win?
I don't know.
How does that, in any world, how does that possibly win?
Here's what I can say, right? You have Big J5 running around in the back line on Roadhog just trying to cause havoc, right? You have a Symmetra teleporting all over the place.
Up next, there might just be a 4th member on the squad of RPI as the corner comes in clutch to take them to game number 5.
It's about as good as you're going to see for a team play off the corner wall, and RPI takes a 3-goal lead.
And with that, we have the fastest goal in this matchup so far. We started off with the quickest goal, the least amount of time.
Okay, spoiler-free intro this time. Someone gets a 4K clutch in this round. You just have to guess who.
Like the first time we've seen A-side, now it's going to be Wukian with that immediate elimination onto Relay, making it a 5-4, but Opsor might be able to, will find the elimination onto Louis, tying things back up. Not for long. Wukian with that operator takes out Safadi. A real powerhouse player has to kiss this round goodbye. UK, they're 3 rounds away, winning their 3rd round and almost tying us back up. What a shot from Wukian there. It is going to be the Blade Storm taken offline, and by that point Blade. Even without that Blade Storm, they may be able to win this one. Brown Baller with the 3. Can he find the 4? Jag? No, it's the right click that puts him in. Wukian with a 4K of his own. Win Kentucky's.
In our top half, it's Sonics in his attempt to 9-stock NJCU that gives us this next play and this beautiful edge guard.
Things will go swimmingly for themselves as of right now. See Hydra playing at a massive disadvantage, already at 109, but 92 on Sonics. This was where we saw them actually take that stock against them. It was just a small little up B. One hit is all it takes.
No, Rabbit! Rabbit! Oh my! Sonics is too clean with it!
For number 3, Shrusi's got some things to say as he just pops off for King.
So much to bear, and well, too much to bear. Shrusi, why take on 1 defenders when you can take on 2, maybe even all of them?
Why get a hat trick when you can get 5 goals instead? 30 seconds to go. Literally every goal of this game has been from Strussi, and you would go to think, you know, oh, obviously he's got a million shots. That's why he's just been putting on the pressure. Not really. He's 5 for 7. He's really accurate with what he's doing here. Not wasting his time because shots like this, they don't come every day. But for Strussi, it's another walk in the park. Give him the time in the air and he will do things like this.
Somebody call it. Somebody call it. This is unfair.
And in second place this week, it's the perfectly timed EMP into self-destruct combo that completely wipes out Wichita State in the opening map against Johnson and Wynn.
Self-destruct is there. Gentalian and Rogue combining for a massive fight win right there. 95%.
And in our number 1 spot, it's a tour de force that some would say is almost excessive from Nagwin as he shuts the door onto Delaware.
On the right side of the kill feed. Nagwen playing C-Long and doing a great job at it. Oh my goodness, even better! Trying to turn 2 into 3, not able to line it up yet, but there it is. That tour de force is a tour de force to be reckoned with. Nagwen taking out 4 to win the 7th round for UK.
All right, and that is it. Now, I mean, what did I tell you guys? Things are only getting crazier and crazier, and with this wrapping up, that means there's only 1 more of these videos left to make. That means there's only 4 more weeks of playoffs left on the table that's going to be starting up in just a little bit. And, I mean, what a crazy season it's been, and what a crazy season it's shaping up to be. Special thank you again to our partners at
Welcome back, everybody. If you guys just missed it, we had a crazy tight set between UAlbany versus SUNY Canton. SUNY Canton eventually barely taking it 2-1 in a 3-game banger of a set. But towards the end of it, there was a pretty significant stock lead for SUNY Canton at the end of it all. So we are now joined here by one of the victors tonight, Top Dog from SUNY Canton's end. Please welcome Top Dog. How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty well.
Great to hear it. Great to hear it. How are you feeling after this win here? It's 2-1 of a set. You guys feel like it was a little close, a little stressful. How did kind of the backwards workings of this and working with the team process go?
I was definitely a little nervous, especially when Albany took game 2. I was a little scared about what might happen in the future. But as the match progressed, I started relieving some of that stress, seeing how much of a lead that we got.
Good to hear. So I go for it.
Yeah. So, I mean, let's talk about you in particular. You had a lot of, you faced a lot of Greninja today. Is that a matchup that you are comfortable with, or do you think you need some more practice on? I mean, how do you think you did against the Greninjas today?
It is definitely a matchup I've played before, but it was so hard fighting Greninja anyways, because the nature of my character is he's a swordy, and Greninja does really good against swordies. So it's always a matchup that is a struggle, but I've definitely practiced against some Greninjas before.
And that practice really did did come through in the clutch. So so you guys are now, I believe you're now 2-0 if I read the schedule correctly. But going into, I guess, let me restart. One of the questions I wanted to ask was, after you dropped the set to Razor, how do you bounce back and get ready for game number 3? What was the conversation between you and your teammates like?
We basically just talked about like the lineup that we wanted to choose for our players. Like we were just thinking, who do we want to send in for who? And we actually were thinking of having Curls as our anchor because he's really strong on Wi-Fi, especially with his character Min Min. And we talked about a game plan and we just kind of went with it and just see and hope that it worked, you know?
Mm-hmm. And my last question for you, I guess, is what was your mindset going into that third and final match, knowing that you're going up against this Greninja, you've got the stock lead. What was your mindset going in?
My mindset going in was kind of just like, I'll just try to do my best, and if I can't finish off the Greninja, then my teammate will get me, because I rely heavily on my teammates because I know that they got skills. And yeah, basically that's it.
It's great to hear. Great to hear. Can we talk a little bit about the roster changes that we had on the fly there? What kind of inspired to send in Squid to deal with Kerbany's Corrin during that second game, and why didn't we see him again?
Squid did not do really bad at all. I just kind of wanted to throw Waka back in because he was confident that he could just, that he could play for us. So I was like, okay, so Waka usually, I feel like he's a player that, sometimes struggles to find that confidence in game. I can really see when he plays. So since he was confident this time, I just knew, I'm like, all right, I'll send Waka back in. He can do his part, get some stocks for us, and we'll be good.
It's great to hear. One last question on my end too. How are you feeling about the way your team is practicing structure this semester compared to previous endeavors that you've been proud of with this? How do you feel you guys are going to fare this season?
This season, I don't know. It was kind of rough because we had to fight B team right off the bat, and we're already 1-1 into the season. I feel like we have a strong chance to get pretty far because I think our team, we've been really trying to hammer down some bad habits of ours during gameplay. So I feel like we got a good shot.
That's great to hear. Keep on that confidence and keep working hard. You guys will get far. Super excited to see more of you guys soon. But until then, take care, Top Dog. Congratulations on your victory. Thank you so much for having us, and we'll hope to see you again soon.
Yes, thank you for having us on stream.
All right, take care. And this is it, Soy. Now we finally finished up this set here. Game 3. Oh my goodness. What are some final thoughts you got about this?
It was a lot of fun. I love to see, game 3s are always a blast in these types of crew battle situations. It's, whenever it all comes down to the wire, it's always a lot of fun, and it's going to be a grand finish, and this was no exception. This was a lot of fun, and I also love to see the depth, right? We talked about normally it's just 3v3, but this time we got to see players 4, players 5 step in, so it's always good to see the depth that these schools bring, because it means that these programs are just going to keep getting bigger and bigger.
That's right. That's right. Me personally, super happy to see the roster switches on the fly. Always love to see more players get some love and, throw in way more of a mix-up in mind game to the already pretty confusing and difficult character and player drafting process. So to have surprises pull up in game 2 from both teams, really, and see how effective they are back and forth against one another. Super, super exciting to see. And I really hope we get to see more of that roster rotation throughout, because I want to be surprised on these sets. I want to be like, based on the matches we've seen from first game, I think this is the way to go. And then completely throw an entirely new wrench with a completely different character for a completely new player. I think that's going to be super, super exciting to keep on the future of. But until then, I guess we're going to be wrapping up our stream here tonight. Thank you all so much for watching. Soy, it's been a pleasure. I've been Combo. Please check out our Twitters. Please follow us. Please give us some feedback. And keep it on Esports U for more esports events and action coming your way very soon. But until then, we'll be signing off. All of you, take care.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Collegiate Esport Commissioners Cup 2022. I am Septilence, joined by Brenda, who is not only a Twitch streamer, but a cancer survivor brought to us by the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. So, Brenda, of course, if you're comfortable, can you please kind of walk us through what cancer you had and kind of how you battled that over time?
Yes, of course. So I was diagnosed with acute myeloid leukemia, AML. It's a very rare cancer. Thankfully, treatment for it is pretty good. So 97% chance of it never coming back. I've been cancer-free for 4 years now. Because of this, I am not able to donate blood, which is something I always wanted to do. So I found different ways to help out, and doing charity streams, charity events has helped out a lot.
Great, and what a perfect segue. I was going to ask, I feel like there's a very unique bond between cancer and video games. That's not something people would often kind of put hand in hand, but somehow you've gone above and beyond to create this connection between the two. And even off the interview, we talked about those charity streams that you've done. So can you walk us through kind of how you use your Twitch channel and your streams to bring awareness and raise money for these foundations?
Yeah, so I use the site Tosify. From there, you can choose any foundation, any society to donate money through. You make a campaign, and I like to share it. I like to raise awareness and funds, if possible, for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. They have helped my family. They have helped many people in the past, and in the future, they will be. So that's just how I work around it.
Yeah, so how do you kind of encourage your viewers to donate money? Is it just kind of setting it up and, hey, it's for a good cause, or do you have incentives or kind of fun little activities that encourage people to spend that money?
Yeah, so I do a lot of incentives. I work at a pottery shop, so I do ceramics kind of thing.
Sure.
I'll pay you something. They can choose what kind of games they want me to play, things for me to sing, all kinds of things.
Yeah, so we talked a little bit off the interview about kind of being trapped inside, right, and having video games as that outlet and utilization of kind of feeling a little bit less stuck. And were there any games you found yourself kind of really attracted to, or games you found yourself just playing more and more often as time went on?
At first, it was a lot of Gary's Mod, Prop Hunt. That was the thing back in the day, And then I also play a lot of multiplayer games, League of Legends, party games, all kinds of things.
Yeah, absolutely. So if somebody kind of looked at your situation from an outside perspective and they thought, oh, how could somebody ever utilize video games to address something as serious as cancer? How do you feel you've been able to successfully utilize this unique platform?
It's amazing, you get through Twitch especially and the other streaming apps, you get access to meet people all over the world.
Yeah.
People globally. So you get to raise awareness globally. You get to teach people about blood cancers, about what they can do to help people. So it's just an amazing way to spread the cause.
Absolutely. Well, Brenda, just one more quick question. Well, less of a question, but more of an opportunity for you to kind of let us know where can we find you when you're raising all of this money and doing great things on stream?
Of course. You guys can find me over at twitch.tv/balloonsbunny. I am a VTuber, so I don't show my face often. It's mostly my model.
This is an exclusive. Brenda's face.
Yes.
Well, Brenda, thank you so much for sharing your story, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.